welcome. So what I thought I'd do is a video on something we use all the time, but probably, even though I'm guilty of it, don't take much attention to, is your trolley jack. Now, we're just focusing on DIY, sort of heavy usage trolley jacks. Now, this jack is being replaced because it's past it now. It still works, but it's at the point I want to replace it, which I have done. I'll show you in a minute. This is just a cheap from Clark or Machine Mart. Yeah, your 1.5 ton basic car trolley jack. It's a couple of years old now. Main thing I'm replacing, there's a few things are bent on it, and the jacking system or the bottle jack that pretty much sits inside it, it's starting to leak oil a bit. So once you jack it up, you haven't got long before you can get an axle stand under before it starts lowering down, which obviously isn't safe. And that's all one thing we do is obviously jack cars up, get it on an axle stand or something to stop it falling down. It's one thing I was always told by my father when I was younger and I started spanning around on cars, is don't get under a car unless you've got an axle stand or something stopping it. So jack, this was a cheap jack, 45 quid, something like that, within that sort of range, 30 to 50 quid range. Now, things that you're going to be looking for, you're going to be looking for simple things like these nuts. Obviously they're loose. That's your main shaft where the wheel sits on. Obviously it's not too much to go onto there, but you want to make sure those are tight. Because if they're wobbly and you're rolling it around a knot and you don't realise that nut's fallen off or the wheel's moved off and you jack it up, that could easily fall off. Again, if you've got 1.5 ton on there, the weight transfers all the way down the body to the main points, goes along, and it literally, the weight goes on these. So make sure your wheels are tight, simple as that. Lock nuts are spring washers are good on there, or just a nylock nut, so when you do it tight, you don't have to worry about coming loose. We'll turn it over. Again, you can see the paint start to ripple up, and you can see the moisture around there. Not moisture, oil residue. So that just shows where our seal is leaking. These do come with seal kits. God knows where it is now. Next thing we're looking at is wheels. As you can see, simple type caster wheel, bolt in there, a couple of bearings. I'll see that's a bit, all the main shaft is bent in that. So that's not good. Again, this one's not that bad, but again, bent shaft. And you've got your two main anchor bolts here. These have never come loose. Again, they've got spring washers in there, which have stayed tight for how many years, which is good. Following down, you've got your main jack. So that's your jack anchor point. You've got your jack sort of point it pushes from. You want to make sure that pin is in there, and when I jack it up, you'll see how that attaches. And as you move down, you can start to see the jack's actually distorted. The main arm's fine, but these relay arms, which link top to the bottom, are bent over where it's had too much weight on it. So I'll jack it up. So we'll just jack it up. We've got it jacked up, full extension. Now the main things you're going to be looking at, like I say, we've checked the anchor points of the jack, mounts on your wheels where the load actually goes through to the floor, and obviously your front wheels. And the next bit is obviously these parts, which I said before, these are distorted, and then you've got these pins in here. Now you can see this pin, you can see that's worn as into the point. It's got a lot of slop in there. The only thing stopping that pin is that R clip. Again, clips in there, simple things. Fair bit wobbly around there. Same on the other side. See, you've got a lot more material left on the edge of that pin. And again, split pin in there. These arms, not too bad, but again, a bit too much slopping than you want really on a car. Remembering this is going to stop you getting squished. So I'll just turn the jack over and we'll have a look where the bottom of these mount. So as you can see, that's where these mount, just under my finger there. Sit on a lug sticking out with a circlip on it. And that circlip, as you can see, that circlip's not actually in anything. It's sat slightly off. Again, if that circlip comes off and that bar comes off, then that's half your weight not supported. And again, same on the other side. So again, yeah, you could use it a bit more, but safety is safety. For the cost of jacks nowadays, you might as well get a new one. So this is going in the bin, and this is a new one, our new trolley jack. Now you might recognise this logo from our air compressor. So I've gone for a low level jack because the car's low. It's not exactly low, but low level is a lot helpfuler. Terrible English. So we've got a 2 ton, quite a good lifting range trolley jack. This was 38 quid, I think, to the door. Looks pretty nice. It looks really nice. First time I've opened it, obviously. Looks a nice bit of kit. Tidy. So we've got a handle. Jacking bar. There you go. They normally come with spare seals. So that's in there. What else we got? Ooh, that's cool. Oh, I like that. So you've got a little rubber stopper sits inside there, so when you're jacking under the car, you haven't got the metal pushing on the body. That's cool. Right, I'll just lift this out and then we'll have a better look. There we go, it's out. Lovely bit of kit. I like that nice swoop down. Really happy with that on there. That's cool. Saves me having to get loads of rags out and things under the body. What is my light doing? Not helpful. Anyway, move on. So, bear with. Turn it off. This is also very handy as well, a rotating jacking head. So if you're in a garage, you've got your jack under, there's only a good point, maybe there's only a good place you can get your jack under there, and then the handle hits the wall. Well, as this rotates, it alleviates that problem. So that's good. And also, if you're buying a jack, wherever you're buying it from, you want to be seeing your declaration of conformity. And this is an important bit of paperwork which lets you know that the jack has been built, supplied, and complies with mainly the machinery safety regulations and the supply of machinery regs. So that's what you want. That's, in simple terms, your MOT certificate for your car. It lets you know it meets a certain standard, because there's obviously a lot of stuff we can buy which is very substandard. So yeah, that's, I'm well happy with that. Nice bit of kit, that 2 ton. Jack it up, see what we got. Now you can spend a lot more on these, but yeah, you can spend a lot more money on jacks. But like I say, simple, low level, sort of advanced DIY jack. Yeah, it's got a 2-year guarantee. But again, the old jack I had, which is over there somewhere, that hasn't really failed, but it's got the point that it needs replacing. So that's a new jack. Obviously we've got our declaration of conformity. We've also got a handle you can put on there. This normally just clips over those nuts. Bit of a squeeze. There's a hammer when you need one. But yeah, that just squeezes over the nuts, so you've got a nice handle to lift it up with. Nice big, long, sturdy handle. Always handy to have a little kink in it. Just gives that bit more leverage on using it. And again, your seal kitting in there, it'll tell you where the seals go. So there we go. SGS. Good bit of kit. For the price, you literally cannot go wrong. There's obviously got bigger ones, you want bigger ones, but you know, 2 ton jack, all you're really going to need, to be honest, because remember, it can take the maximum of 2 ton on that point. So for example, that, when it's all fueled out ready to go, is under 1,000 kilos. So you could say, okay, I only need a ton jack. You could get away with half a ton jack because you're not lifting the whole vehicle. So you're not lifting the whole 2 ton. But again, 2 ton, general average, good jack. So yeah, well happy with that. So I thought I'd do a quick video. There you go. What to check on your jack if it's a bit wobbly, if it's seeping, mainly if it's seeping, because that's the worst thing. You jack your car up, think, right, it's jacked up, I'll get an axle stand, you're half under the car, wiggle an axle stand under a solid place while the car's slowly lowering down, you don't know it. And before you know it, you're trapped under it, struggling to breathe. So, for the sake of money, it's a no-brainer. Like I say, loads of other jacks out there, you've got other brands, but I went for the SGS because I've gone for the air compressor, and that's been faultless and fantastic. Like I said, there's probably other jacks out there which are exactly the same as this, just a different colour and 2 different stickers and a different name on it, probably for triple the price. So I'll show you the link in the description from eBay where I bought it from. So there you go. Always check your jacks, make sure they're nice and safe, because at the end of the day you don't want to be squished under a car. Cheers for watching, see you in the next one.